Why, hello there, everybody. How you doing today? It's me again. Well, I told you I would talk to you all about who is it that grabs titles. Well, the same person that grabs the title is the very same type of person, or the very same person who puts titles on other people. And here's the reason why they do it. The first reason is to make themselves greater than another person, or make you less than them, all in an attempt to make the claim that, hey, I am better than you. They also do it to segment everyone, including themselves. Separate everyone, including themselves. And divide everyone, including themselves, into very specific groups, with each of the groups having a very specific classification and or type, with each having its own title and or label. The reason for this is really very simple, because the people that grab titles are convinced that they can, as well as we all are, ranked. There has to be somebody at the top in order to have someone at the top. That means there has to be somebody at the bottom. And the whole goal is to work your way up from the bottom to become the top. And that's what they want to be. They want to be the top, because we all know that there is a very specific and definite pecking order. In order for there to be a top, there has to be a bottom. And if there is a bottom and there is a top, then hey, there's got to be all kind of different levels in between, right? The reason why they do this, why they take a title, and why they put titles on other people, is simply to validate, as well as justify, everything that they do, everything that they have, everything that they don't do, everything that they might be able to do, as well as explain some of the things that they can't do. Because after all, there is a very specific pecking order. There is somebody at the top, and there is somebody at the bottom. And let's not forget, everybody's been given a title, and everybody's been given a label, thereby classifying all of us into our own little group. So we can validate and justify things that we do simply by saying, well, hey, this group over here won't let this group do anything, and it's not my fault that I can't do anything about it because I'm over here in this group. So That's the reason why I do what I do, and the reason why I have what I have, and the reason why I don't do what I don't do. Because I'm in my own little group, in my own little class, with my very specific label and title dictating exactly where I rank and exactly what the pecking order is. So, who are these people that take these titles and put these titles onto other people, that divide and segment into groups? Well, if we're honest with ourselves, we'll admit that we have all done exactly what I just described. And we all have been, if and some of us still currently are, the type of person that does this. And who does this? Why, they're called slaves. Now, I'm not talking about the type of slave that's owned by another person, a person that's forced to do physical labor. I'm talking about a slave to the status quo, the slave to titles. Because you see, slaves believe this. Slaves believe that they need everyone to approve of what they're doing. They need everyone to help them do what they're doing. Simply because they're slaves. And they have a very specific pecking order that they operate in. Slaves are the most unhappy people around. And again, they are the most needy people around. Slaves need lots and lots and lots of attention. They need lots and lots and lots of justification. They need justification for why they do what they do, why they don't do what they do. They need validation for everything that they do, as well as everything that they don't do, as well as why they do everything that they do, as well as why they don't do everything that they don't do. The reason for this is simple. Because the slave believes that they are in a competition with everyone that's in the ranking. Because again, there has to be a top. That means there has to be a bottom. So they're making sure that there is somebody below them. So they're constantly beating somebody down, as well as trying to get to the top spot, meaning that the only way to do that is to tear the other person down. And this is all done simply to prove that they are better than you or better than another. This competition that they're in is as pointless as running on a treadmill with the expectation of actually getting to another destination other than on the treadmill. This competition that they're in is just as pointless as expecting to climb up a stairmaster, expecting to get to the second story, because you're never going to leave the stairmaster. You're never going to get any higher. It is just as pointless as running on a mouse wheel. Because no matter how fast the mouse runs, no matter how slow the mouse walks, he's always right in the same spot. Because you are not in competition with anyone. There is no pecking order. There is no one at the bottom. There is no one at the top. And there is no one in between. Simply because we, you, me, we are all and each an individual, but a very specific type of individual. You are a unique, which is an adjective, means having no like or equal, unparalleled, incomparable. You cannot be compared to anything else because you are one of a kind. You are a unique individual. And you have a very specific purpose because you were created. Purpose means the reason for which something is done or created or for which something exists. You exist. You were created for a very specific purpose by Almighty God. And the only one that can tell you what that very unique, specific purpose is Almighty God. You are being lied to. You are not greater than anyone, and no one is greater than you. You are not better than anyone, and there is no one better than you. There are no rankings. There is no pecking order. You do not need any validation. You do not need to justify anything. You only need to accept the fact that you are an individual that has and is a very unique, having no like or equal, one of a kind, unparalleled, incomparable. You are a unique individual that was made for a very specific purpose by Almighty God. All you have to do is ask Almighty God what that purpose is. You know what the desires of your heart are. Those desires came from Almighty God. You ask Almighty God what your purpose is. You ask and He will show you. You ask Almighty God for help reaching your purpose, and Almighty God will give you everything you need to reach and fulfill the purpose that Almighty God has given for you. In the next video, I will tell you exactly who you are being lied to. Who is the one that is being lied to? Who is the one that is lying to you? I'll get it straight. In my next video, I'm going to tell you exactly who it is that's lying to you and why you are being lied to.